I want to join the people of Kenya in lauding the Court of Appeal and indeed the judiciary for upholding the supremacy of the Constitution. I want to say that we are happy as a country that impunity has been checked by the judiciary. We want to encourage our judges and the magistrates to continue protecting and upholding the Constitution that they sought to uphold and protect on assuming their respective offices. The BBI was a fraud from the word go. The BBI had nothing to do with the people of Kenya. It was about selfish and political interests of two people, the president and the former prime minister. As the judges rightly put it, all the other clauses that were in the BBI were sweeteners. They were meant to hoodwink the people of Kenya. The real intention of the BBI was to create 5 positions to enable the president and the former prime minister to craft a coalition for 2022 so that the president can succeed himself through proxies to govern and continue ruling Kenya outside the constitutional time limit. It is that frustration that we have seen in Mombasa, where the president has put together the people who used to fight him, the people who did everything in their life to make sure he does not accept the presidency, trying to unite them and to create a coalition. And that coalition is what BBI was supposed to achieve. It was supposed to create 5 positions for the 5 characters who are in Mombasa. That is Raila Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Gideon Moi. We want to say the people of Kenya are very happy that the courts have stopped impunity. If you remember, the BBI was sold with a lot of intimidation and harassment and open bribery, where the people of Kenya were being bribed openly to push the BBI forward. And the courts have reaffirmed the supremacy of the Kenyan people, that anybody who want to govern Kenyans, who want to change their lives in one way or another, must consult them comprehensively and do very wide public participation. I want to urge my president to accept that he has made very serious mistakes in the last 4 years and be a gentleman and retreat and go back to the work that we elected him to do. More importantly, we would want the president to put a lot of effort in reviving our economy, in putting money into people's pockets, in addressing the COVID-19 pandemic challenges, in addressing the economic woes facing our people. If he were to put the same effort, a similar effort like he is putting in trying to unite NASA, in reviving the economy, the people of Kenya will be very happy people. As it is, that exercise of trying to unite NASA is an exercise in futility, and it will go nowhere. And we would like to urge our president, whom we elected and whom we have supported for the last 20 years, to exercise caution so that he doesn't face further embarrassment. And he must look at his advisors, both legal and political. Everything he has tried to do has been declared by courts unconstitutional. And it is embarrassing that he is pushing things that do not have the backing of the law. When I listened to the judgment yesterday, it was a serious indictment on his decision-making process. And he may want to look at the people who are advising him, both legally and politically. And more importantly, we want to urge our president to accept that Kenya is a democratic country and he has been president, and to be satisfied with the 2 terms that we give him, and leave Kenyans to decide on their next president and the government that they want to form. In the words of Kenneth Matiba, let the people decide. And we want to caution our president that if he goes ahead to push Raila Odinga to the people of Kenya, he'll be embarrassed in 2022. And we wouldn't want him to go through embarrassment and humiliation. We would want to urge him with a lot of respect to emulate Mzee Mwai Kibaki, who did not try to force his successor to the people of Kenya. Mwai Kibaki, the statesman and the nationalist that he is, served his term, left very quietly, and allowed the people of Kenya to democratically elect his successor. In the unfortunate event that our president doesn't agree to emulate President Mwai Kibaki and leave the people of Kenya to decide and get murdered in the 2022 succession, he runs the very great risk of being embarrassed and humiliated the way President Moi was humiliated when he was handing over. That is the mood in this country. I have been here since yesterday. I have done a lot of consultation this morning with ordinary people, with leaders, and all of them are unanimous. They want the president to retire in peace and leave the people of Kenya to make their own decisions as to who will lead them and as to who will form the next government. And the series of embarrassments that have faced our president in courts, politically, where Jubilee now, a party that was so popular, is a shell. It is losing every election. Everything the president has done is being declared unconstitutional by the courts. Informs him that he needs to relook at his strategy, at his advisors, and be in tandem with the people of Kenya. And the people of Kenya want to be left alone to make their own decisions as to who will form the next government. And I must say, why there was so much bravado. Nobody can stop reggae. This thing will be sold to Kenyans like quinine by PSs in government. The kind of humiliation we were subjected in Bomas by Junet Mohammed, the kind of insults, is because when the president and the former prime minister sat down for the handshake, they assumed and they believed that once the two of them talk, they don't need anybody else in this country. They made a mistake of assuming that the 8 million voters of Uhuru Kenyatta, combined with the 6 million votes of Raila Odinga, made them do whatever they want in this country. And that is why they despised elected leaders, they despised the courts, they used high-headed tactics to punish those of contrary opinion. The president used the criminal justice system to coerce and intimidate and harass those of different political persuasion because they thought that they don't need anybody. The judgment of the High Court, the judgment of the Court of Appeal, the results of the various by-elections where the Jubilee has been humiliated, tells the president and the former prime minister that they need other Kenyans. They need to respect elected leaders. They need to respect independent institutions, and they need to use persuasion to achieve whatever political objective that they have, as opposed to intimidation, harassment, threats, and persecution. That is the message. And I would like to thank the judges of the Court of Appeal because they were not intimidated. During the last Madaraka Day celebrations in Kisumu, the president went out of his way to really intimidate the judges and lecture them like children, knowing very well that the judiciary is independent. But the judges did not buy fear. They have lived to their oath of office by being independent and refusing to be intimidated by the president, and making a judgment that is well founded on the law and the constitution. And we are very happy people that in the face of all this impunity, Kenyans today know that they have an independent judiciary that will protect the constitution, that will protect human rights, that will ensure there is fairness, there is justice, and upholding and the upholding of the rule of law. So this judgment of yesterday has given confidence to many Kenyans. And today everybody can do whatever he wants. He can pursue their political objectives. They can have freedom of association, freedom of movement, freedom of the press, knowing very well that the judiciary is there to uphold the constitution and protect the right of every Kenyan to do what they think is right. Thank you.